that's why we need to define what an abortion is, but you guys won't define it. We first have to define what an abortion is. Can someone tell me what an abortion is?
They don't know. They don't know.
Mother wants to do with her body, she should be able to do.
Okay, should she be able to do cocaine and fentanyl while she's pregnant?
She shouldn't be able to, but she could.
Should she be able to do that?
While she's pregnant, it is her body, it's her choice.
So she should be able to do cocaine and fentanyl while she's pregnant at 9 months?
If it's her choice, then yes.
No. What are we talking? How did we get to this point as a nation? How did we get here? This is insane. This is mental illness. No. I have two sisters and a brother. So I grew up in a house of 4 siblings. If my older sister were to tell me I'm pregnant today, I'll be extremely happy for her because she's married, she has a family, But if she told me she was taking fentanyl or any type of drug, I would literally fly to her location and probably put her in some mental home. That is crazy. That is unacceptable. What? Anyways, this video is about college students giving their opinions on... I don't even know at this point. Just giving their opinions. Let's get into it.
How are you guys?
Why are you here?
Oh, I love talking to college students. I think they're very bright and smart, and so that's what I came here to find. Are you a bright and smart college student?
I try to be, but I don't know.
You don't know? All right.
You shake your head.
What's your major?
I'm an art major.
An art major. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you hope to do with that one day?
I am gonna work in entertainment. Entertainment is huge, makes a lot of money. I love doing art.
Absolutely. Do you like drawing, acting, painting? What's your thing?
Visual art, yeah. Yeah. So painting and drawing.
We're asking students specifically, and I was trying to ask the woman with the beautiful scarf that she had on about the Palestinian students who are being deported off of campuses and getting their visas revoked. Have you heard about that?
I have not heard about that.
You haven't heard about that? It must not be a hot button issue like I thought it was, right? What's the most?
I mean, obviously, people that are affected by that are gonna know.
Yeah.
But
not personal to you.
I personally don't know anything about that. But that doesn't make it less important.
Of course. There's a lot of important things that I don't know about, but that doesn't mean they're not important. What's the political topic that you feel most strong about?
I don't know. Are we gonna have what is this conversation right now?
I'm asking you about your opinions as a college student. What's most important to you? Do you guys have an opinion that, or a political movement that's really important to you as Gen Z?
Just, basic rights for all human beings. Just good people stuff.
Good people stuff. Yeah. Good people would support basic human rights for all human beings, right?
Yeah.
Do you see any basic human rights being infringed upon for a certain group of people?
What do you mean, like a specific?
Yeah, do you see anybody, like a group of people who are getting their rights infringed upon?
Do you mean on campus specifically or just overall?
Anywhere.
I'm trying to think of a good example, but
Is there any group of people that we need to fight for their human rights?
I believe that immigrants need to be treated more fairly than they are right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What is happening to immigrants or illegal aliens? Which one?
I don't know if I want to talk to you, if I'm being honest.
Well, are they immigrants or are they illegal aliens? Which ones?
I mean, that's
Are you trying to catch me in my words? Because honestly, I'm not great at speaking.
Because if immigrants,
I believe that everyone should be treated with kindness and love.
I agree with you. Yeah, they definitely should be treated with kindness and love. But if you're talking about the illegal immigrants who come over, and those people are being deported right now for committing heinous crimes against women in our country. Yeah, that's why I'm asking you to clarify. Are you talking about legal immigrants who come over, get vetted, pass the naturalization test, do all the good stuff, background check? Are they being treated poorly, or are you talking about the illegal immigrants who come over and break our laws?
Well, I'm not talking about the people who break laws, because I believe anyone who breaks a law, I believe anyone who breaks the law should, murder. Whether you're born in the U.S. or you come from somewhere else, you gotta pay for that.
You gotta pay for that. Yeah. So you're okay with them being deported? Get the hell out of here.
I don't know.
Definitely a
I feel like you're trying to like catch me in my words. I just feel like
All I've done is ask you questions.
I'm aware that all you've done is ask me questions.
That can
Yeah.
still be manipulative, though.
Yeah.
Since they're not giving their opinion, I'll give my opinion. I don't like mass deportations. I don't like it. I don't. I think when it comes to a lot of people who are coming here just for a better life, it sucks that they're getting deported to a land that is worse. However, it is a president's job to do mass deportations. And Barack Obama showed that. And the reason I say that is because if you're entering into a land illegally, you're going against the law of the land, the rule of the land. And the president's job is to be the chief commander of the executive branch. And the executive branch's job is to enforce the law. So personally, I don't like it. I don't. I'm like, okay, they're trying to make a better life for themselves. That's my personal opinion. However, if I was president, you're supposed to deport them. And it's not about personal opinion at this point. It's about you just have to do it. And Trump is doing that. Obama did it. You have to do it. That's just how it is. And them doing it is the right thing to do. It's the legal right thing to do. Point blank period. And that's how I feel about it. Do I think it's wrong? Not necessarily. I think it's right. I think it's the literal right thing to do. I don't like it. I wish they could stay. In a perfect world, they could. But this world is not perfect. That's how I feel about it. But here's the thing. I'm able to separate how I feel because sometimes I don't feel the best about a lot of things. I didn't feel like studying every single week for the past 5 years for 2 degrees. I didn't feel like doing it. I hated it. I hated studying. I hated working 60 hours a week for projects. I hated it. But you have to do it. And in this instance, you literally have to do it because it's the law. Point blank period. People think the president can rewrite the law. They think the president determines what's legal and what's illegal, but that's not the case. So if a president gets in the White House, such as Donald Trump, and says, I'm going to deport illegal immigrants because they should not be here, that's what you're supposed to do. That's the right. And Donald Trump may agree with illegal immigrants coming over. Maybe, but his job isn't to give his opinion. His job is to exercise the law. That's how it is. That's how the world works. That's how law and order works. That's just what it is. But let's continue.
Okay, let me ask you a straight up yes or no question. If someone crosses our border illegally, they were not vetted, they came over with bad intentions, they have murdered women, they have raped women.
Well,
do you think they should be deported?
I think it's a little late for that.
Yeah, right. Well, some people do like to abort children after they were born, and that's called an afterbirth abortion, or we could do a partial birth abortion.
I think you're talking about. I think you're talking
about human rights. Yeah, you're talking about human rights too, right?
Yeah. Well, you're talking
Right?
about
Children
things
deserve
that don't
human
actually
rights.
happen that often.
What don't
Like-
happen?
Like afterbirth abortions don't actually happen that often. Illegal
Wait, they don't happen that often. How often are they happening?
Not enough for people to be freaking out about
But they
it.
are happening.
I don't know that. I'm not a fucking doctor. What are you talking about right now?
You just said afterbirth abortions are not happening very often, so they are happening?
I think women
What did you
die
say?
from pregnancy
I mean,
more than
babies die. Someone could kill their child. That's not an birth abortion.
afterbirth abortion.
That's
That's
just
a
someone
murder,
fucking killing their
like-
baby. After
That's a murder, yeah. So
Abortion is not murder.
what is it?
It is.
It's term like, bro.
What is an
The
abortion?
medical term for abortion. I just know
I'm asking for a definition.
So, like, the medical term, the definition.
What is the
same-
definition of an abortion?
Girl, I don't have the medical definition. I'm not a doctor either.
Well, okay, then
We're
what
not
do you
Mexicans.
think? If you support it and you said it's not murder, then what is it?
Like terminating a pregnancy before it become a viable person.
Before it becomes a viable person. So it is a person, but it's not viable.
Girl, I'm not a med student.
You don't have to be a med student to have a clump of cells.
Before
Okay.
like a certain point, yeah. Like obviously at like 9 months, unless there's like something, you know, extreme, like a complication for the mother or the baby, like extreme scenario.
At 9 months, if the mother is
I'm
at
not
risk.
a doctor. I don't know.
You don't have to be a doctor. Hold on. Every time. Okay, so
Save the woman who's already alive.
To save the mother every time.
is she pregnant with a dead child? You said the mother. You said the mother who is already a child.
There, like dead, they have to take it out.
Yeah, that's not an abortion.
Okay, but I'm saying that's still like something that they're not like going for. They don't want to do that. Sometimes it's literally going to kill the woman, and they still will not let her get the abortion.
What are you talking about? What cases are you talking about?
Just in general, like that happens. It doesn't happen where a woman is pregnant and it's going against her health. It's literally killing her, and they won't abort it. You're telling me that's not happening?
What case are you talking about? What condition? No, it doesn't happen. Can you tell me when?
Can you tell me when it doesn't?
So, if you're going to engage in a discussion here and you make a claim that something is happening, you need to back that up. It's not. I don't have the burden of proof right now. You do. So I want you to tell me an example of where that has happened. I don't have an example because it doesn't happen. If a woman is experiencing something like an ectopic pregnancy, that is not banned in any 50 states. That's not banned in anywhere. So that is an example, but that's also not an abortion. That's why we need to define what an abortion is, but you guys won't define it. We first have to define what an abortion is. Can someone tell me what an abortion is?
They don't know. They don't know. A big trend that's happening, and I see it in a lot of people, is people like to speak on things they know nothing about. They like to speak on things they have no idea about, which is why you'll never see me get online and say anything really deeply about abortion, because honestly, I don't know too much about it. I've never studied. I've never really researched it. I know little things about exactly what it is. So I don't really speak about it. But a problem that you have with these young women is that they have extremely strong opinions on why it should stay, but they don't even know how to define it. And that's an issue. If you're going to say, oh, I'm an extreme advocate of this, you're doing yourself a disservice by not even knowing what it is. What are you an advocate of exactly? The concept of it? You're an advocate of the concept of abortion? And this just goes into critical thinking. This goes into any issue, not just abortion. If you're going to say, I stand by this, this is the right thing to do, this is what America should do, this should be legal, illegal, blah, 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 then you need to be brave enough and accurate enough to stand on it if someone questions you. If somebody walks up to you and says, why do you support this? You need to be able to stand on it. I support this because of X, Y, and Z. It's defined as this. I understand it as this. And you need to be able to explain it. And that's the problem. You're not able to do that. And now you look stupid. Now you look like a fool because you're getting in your feelings because you're not able to explain it. You know what's crazy? This could have been a very good debate if one of them understood what abortion was. One of them. Because yes, Caitlyn Bennett, she leans conservative, but she's an extremely big figure. A lot of people watch her videos who also don't understand these topics, and you probably could have explained it to them, but you don't know what it is.
I said, like, again, I'm not a med student, so I don't know, like...
You don't need to be a med student to know what an abortion is.
I know that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying...
Do you know what a cat is?
Girl, don't talk to me like I'm stupid.
But you're not a vet.
Okay, yeah, I know.
So what is an abortion? If you support it, every time for the life of the mother, what are you supporting?
Whatever the mother wants to do with her body, she should be able to do.
Okay. Should she be able to do cocaine and fentanyl while she's pregnant?
She shouldn't be able to, but she could.
Should she be able to do that?
While she's pregnant, it is her body, it's her choice.
She should be able to do cocaine and fentanyl while she's pregnant at 9 months?
If it's her choice, then yes.
So does that affect you support that?
I'm laughing. I don't support that.
Choice to get, if we don't know how she got pregnant, we don't know what situations she's in that she's taking these hard drugs that you're talking about. Maybe she's dealing with some and she has to take these drugs. Maybe she's on the street. Like, you don't know what's going on with somebody. And if we're saying, oh, we're going to start criminalizing people that are doing hard drugs like that, which is already happening.
While pregnant.
But putting the while pregnant is like, you're not addressing the real issue. The real issue is, why is this mother on these drugs? Why is she doing these things that she feels like she has to do these to relieve stress or something? It's not.
I don't think people do cocaine.
Man, nobody cares about none of that. If somebody breaks into your house and says, if somebody breaks into your house with a loaded weapon and steals all your money, are you going to be saying the real issue is why society created a place for where they have to break into homes in order to get money with the economic imbalance? No, you're going to be saying, I want my money back. The same thing in this instance. If a pregnant mother is on drugs and your first thought is, oh, why is she no, you need to be worried about the health and safety of that baby. What are we talking about? This is insane.
Because they want to relieve stress. I think that they are addicted to cocaine and they have no ability to control themselves. But when a woman is pregnant and doing cocaine, is she just affecting her body?
If the baby is in her body, yeah.
So it's only her body being affected.
The baby is in her body, so the baby and her are being affected, but the baby is part of her at that point.
Does that baby deserve any justice for being abused in that way?
I think if we're going to talk about babies being abused, we need to address how the orphan
Let's talk about that after you answer my question. Does that baby deserve justice for their mom abusing them while they were in the womb and making them addicted to cocaine and fentanyl out of the womb? And now they have so many conditions messed up. Does that baby deserve justice, or does that baby deserve to be given whatever that mom deserves, the mom decides to do to her body? Is it truly just her body if that baby is going to be born addicted to cocaine?
Can you give me an example of when this has happened?
You've never seen a baby go through withdrawal? No.
I've never even heard about that on the news.
It doesn't have to be on the news. You don't.
Yes, I can give an example right now. I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to. Actually, no, I'm not going to say any names. An example is when babies are born. What is it called when the baby has like alcohol poisoning when it's born? It's like an entire condition for it, where a baby comes out and the condition is so specific that you can tell that the mother was drinking when the baby was born. Also, there are conditions when babies are come out and the mother was addicted to cigarettes or drugs. The baby is also addicted to that substance when it comes out. This stuff happens in real life. This is not something fake that Caitlyn is making up. This is like real life events. I'm super surprised you've never seen this before. Yes, it happens where mothers would have babies that get pregnant and the baby would get addicted to drugs because the mother was doing drugs while the baby was in the womb. This stuff happens. This is not a joke. This is not a game.
I think women are taking drugs and then their babies are born addicted to these drugs.
I don't know about that happening.
All right, let's live in fantasy land.
Getting pregnant.
Yeah, well, there are billions of people on this earth, and so no, it doesn't have to be anyone in your personal life. I'm just asking you, let's do a hypothetical. Let's pretend it's never happened. Let's live in fantasy land, okay? What if a woman knew she was pregnant and she continued to do cocaine and fentanyl, and her baby was born addicted to those drugs, going through severe withdrawals, and now has brain damage from it? Was that still a choice you think she should be able to make while she's pregnant?
I think a woman should be able to make whatever choice she wants with her body.
Okay. No.
There are other prerequisites to this conversation of, oh, if she's doing cocaine is illegal, so then there's legal precautions for her doing cocaine, but then that doesn't have to do with her being pregnant. That just has to do with her making bad decisions about herself.
No, it has everything to do because I asked you. I asked you if that baby deserves justice. Does that baby deserve justice? Do they matter that their mom abused them?
Deserve justice.
But a
children
baby
in the system deserve more justice.
Well, guess what? Now that baby will be in the system. Now that baby will be in the system.
Because we don't care about the moms. We're not helping the moms. We're not protecting the moms.
No, because you've told her that she can make any choices she wants with her body, and now she's gone and affected someone else that is in her body. That baby's not her body. Does that woman have two heads?
What are you talking about?
Does a pregnant woman have two heads?
So silly. I can't believe you're on a
I'm not the
college
one.
campus talking
I'm
to
not the
students about
one
this kind of
advocating
stuff.
that it's
This is
not a problem
literally-
for pregnant women to choose what to do with their body if that means doing cocaine and their baby being abused in that way. That is one of the most wildest, that is a very, very wild claim I've heard from someone on the pro-abortion side, but I have to give her some, respect here. She's being consistent. If it's not a child, if pregnant women are not pregnant with a child in their stomach, then yeah, I guess they're not affecting the baby, right? There's not another person being abused there. That's just her body. All of it's just her body until that baby is born with awful, detrimental disabilities now and addicted to cocaine, just like I mentioned in the story. And where's the justice for those children? And because it's not happened in her personal life, well, then it hasn't happened at all.
Yeah, even I know that stuff happens. It just happens. Some of this stuff is just common sense, if we're being honest. And I think the young woman believes that just because Caitlin Bennett is anti-abortion, that she's anti-child rights who are already on Earth. No, that's not the case. But regardless, what do you guys believe? Do you support or agree with Caitlin? Do you think she's wrong, right? Let me know. My name is LFR Jojo, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.